I think it's a New York thing. Hello, 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 hello. It's not bad for. When I grew up, everyone said things 5 times. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hello, 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 hello. Pardon me. And I just thought that was a normal thing. I have no idea what to draw. I was trying to think. I wanted to draw something like rainy. And then I was thinking one of my favorite scenes in the rain ever is Studio Ghibli's Totoro, where he's using the big leaf, and then she gives him the umbrella. And then I was like, oh, I'll draw like a lion in the rain. But then lions look really doofy wet. So I don't know. This is, I'm not sure what to draw here. I usually start the stream with at least some idea of what I'm going to draw. It's almost never planned out. But today, I don't know. I'm just like sometimes you can feel away. I'm feeling away, I guess. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to have somebody holding on to this little leaf. I think we'll make it a little character. Let me get my, just realized I'm not. Let's make it a little mouse, I think. This is the close one. This is the far one. You can tell because of the way that they are. This is the mouse butt. And then what is this mouse protecting? I mean, they're holding it up, so they are protecting themselves, but maybe they're also protecting something that's here behind them. Like, maybe, maybe they're carrying their little sibling on their back. Now I'm just stealing from Ghibli, actually. So I'll take just the leaf inspiration. We'll leave the little sibling out of it. Little mouse, little nose. This is the back one, so it'll disappear behind the face. This is the front one, so it'll show up in front of the body. There we are. Uh, just like every mouse, every animal, hip, then knee, then shin, then ankle, then toes. Shin, ankle, toes. I don't always draw real animals cartoon animals with the real feet, like real animal anatomy, never mind, animal anatomy. But it's good. I like to start there because then maybe I can make it work, and I do prefer to make it work. Because I feel like it does add a little bit even to a cartoony character. Let me know. Oh, I don't think so, Kendra. Kendra, I had a friend named Kendra. She lived in Seattle. She was married to somebody whose name was Jingles. I don't think that's identifying information. Hey, maybe it is. Maybe I just docked somebody. That's terrible. All right. How much can you see? Okay, there we go. Sad little mouse being sad. All right. Pardon me. What should we draw next? We could keep going with this guy, but I just don't feel inspired, and I'm a big fan of being inspired when you do drawing. Like, I used to really, really push myself to finish things that I started before I was inspired, and I found like if you move on, most of the time you will come back to it, or you will get a better idea, or you will be inspired, and it'll just finish itself, basically. It'll feel like it finishes itself. But if you force yourself, then you never hit flow state. And flow state for me is so important. It's like it makes the job easy, right? So, but it's important. You can't just not do it if you're not feeling it, right? I'm not feeling it right now, which is unusual. I usually fall right in. I really enjoy illustrating basically anything. Um, for whatever reason, today it's a rainy day. Could be a million things, right? I'm not I'm not feeling it. And that's okay. The thing is, if you don't keep going on those days, you'll never feel it. Because usually I don't feel it when I started. Like I said, now I almost always am. It's easy for me to get going. Hey guys, welcome, welcome. I'm doing all right. I'm doing good. Um, got a meeting with another illustrator coming up to sort of pick their brain and see if they can offer me any advice on getting more into the industry. If I'm see what I'm doing wrong, see what I'm doing right. I mainly have sold my stuff either directly to clients or through craft fairs. And so hopefully I can figure something out. I don't even know. I need to put together my portfolio. I guess I'm thinking about that too, so that's probably part of why my brain is a little wonky today. I'm going to draw Pete the Duck because I got nothing. I was explaining Pete the Duck to somebody, and then I was like, well, he's a goose, actually. He's not a duck, which, like, I knew. Okay, so Pete the Duck is a goose I drew on stream. He is always angry. I don't think he's really always angry, but he's always angry-esque. I drew his beak, gigantic. Thank you, Eyes. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm nervous, but I'm nervous about everything. I have nerves. I have the nerves, as my grandparents would have said. Okay. So I think we'll put Pete in the rain. I think that's good. He'll have a broken umbrella. I think that works. I'm trying to think of rainy day things because it's raining here. I usually like the rain. I don't dislike today, so I like the rain. Let's see. How is an umbrella broken? We'll have him holding this part where you like push it up and down, and we'll have him holding the handle part where it's the handle, and then I guess it's like this, and then like this, and it's kind of looks like a mangled mess. I think that's right. And then this sort of looks like this, different folds of fabric. Man, umbrellas I feel like used to do this all the time. Like when I was younger, you would always see umbrellas like abandoned on the side of the road or in parks or on the sidewalk or everywhere, and they would just look like this. They'd be totally wrecked. And I feel like you never see that anymore. I wonder if it's partly because people don't like people are just more environmentally conscious and are not like just throwing their garbage wherever they are. But I feel like it must partly be because umbrellas are better because people are definitely still jerks. It's not like in the last 20 years or whatever, people have become less of a jerk. I like how I like how I imply all people are one jerk. I think that's probably true. All people are one jerk. That's my what is it called? That's my philosophy. Geese were one of the first things that I felt like I could draw without using a reference, which was really neat because I still at the time, I was drawing regularly. I was getting paid for drawing, but I was selling my work. But at the same time, I was like, oh, I'm still so bad at this. And I felt like super self-conscious. And I did a series of geese, like doing human stuff, wearing clothes, that kind of thing. And I loved it. And like other people liked it too, but that's less important. I really loved it. And then it sold, which was also important. And people were buying it. People other also liked it, but it felt like, oh, this is good. Like I'm not terrible at drawing. Like this is something that came directly from my brain. There was no um like I said, I didn't even use a reference, which listen, I tell people and I say to myself all the time, you should use a reference for every drawing, basically. Like if you're drawing something and it's not like meant to be super stylized or super cartoony, there is no reason. How would his hand here go? So this hand, here's his thumb, that makes sense. This hand would be coming up and sort of grabbing the whole front of it, and his thumb would be going over the top, and his feathers will be coming. So you don't even really see the. Okay. Um, Especially in today's world where looking up a reference takes about 2 seconds, I think it's important to just do it. It'll make all of your work better. You don't even have to use the reference. A lot of people, I think also, I say this every time because I think it's important. A lot of people think, or I've been told that people think like references mean you're bad. Like if you need to use references, you're not as good of an artist, or like people be like, "Oh my God, you did that with no references?" And I'm like, "No, I used references. Why would you ever think and then they're like less impressed. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it's still impressive. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if you're impressed or not. I genuinely think it's more interesting and like it's more important that the final product is the product than you did it in any particular way. I mean, as long as you're not stealing. It's, let's not say if you're stealing or something, then that's terrible. Then you should not be doing that. Okay, let's make Pete be saying something here. Hmm. I was trying to think of the line. He's going to be like, water off a duck's back. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, usually I think of something. Today might be a short stream. I was playing a trivia game recently, and the question was about different animals' sounds for different countries, languages, I guess. I think we've done his bottom hand upside down. I think like he totally could hold it that way, but if he's angry, I think he's probably holding it overhand. It's like a, you guys see this glitter on this? You can't tell on this eraser. I don't know where it came from. He's probably holding it overhand, right? I feel like if I'm angry, I'm not like, oh, I'm like, ah. Hang on, I'm trying to, yeah, I feel like I'm holding it overhand. So we're going to have him come down and hold it like this. Okay. That'll be his little fist. That's the handle. And this is the feather differentiation. That's the thumb. And I think we're just going to leave that there. Messed up the feathers a little bit. I'll fix that right quick. Pop, pop, pop. We can even have them sticking out the back. That's, yeah, this is more. I wonder, I just had this thought, how much of my idea of how a duck, anamorphic duck, or what is it, a human-esque duck looks, or goose in this case, looks, is based on like DuckTales and Donald Duck cartoons and old Disney cartoons and Warner Brother cartoons. Because I watched so friggin' many of those as a kid. So if the wind is blowing this way to the left, then the rain would also be coming down to the left. Let's throw some of that in there. Hey, Aubrey, Emily, Emmy. Hey, Emmy. I got some glue. Okay. Okay, we're going to put in horizon here. I'm going to pull this leg, this foot up a second, just a little tiny bit. And that puts them on more of a plane. And let's have some of these hitting the ground. Pope, 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 pope. And the ground behind them, we'll make these ones smaller, a little bit further back. Maybe we don't even draw the actual like raindrop. Draw right through that. Okay. We'll have some hitting his back. One or two hitting the umbrella. Just add a little bit of rain everywhere. Try to make it all go in the same direction, more or less. And have about even coverage. I don't want to... What the heck? I don't want it to look like it's raining just on him, although that could be fun. Okay. I can't think of anything really funny for him to say, so I'm just gonna, oh, hey, Moonstar. I like that. Moonstar. Oh, well, thank you for showing up. Moonstar Hayes. Seriously, good name. Instead of Monster, a long time ago, I used to go by Monstar. So, Moonstar, I really, okay. It's a little, we'll make the ground wet by giving them a little, like, reflection. Kind of just giving the ground a little bit of texture. Maybe even put a puddle over here. Puddles. Yeah, exactly. That was the Monstar. That was my chat name for a long time. I still will occasionally use it, but okay. The only thing I can think of for this guy to say is like, I'm just gonna write it out. What the quacking quack? Oh, sweep, sweep, sweep. Yeah, Monstar of the Galaxy. That's good. I like that. Oh, I see. Yeah, this looks like a broom. How do we make it look more like the broken umbrella that it is? You know, I was thinking this when I did it, and I colored in the like metal struts black. Oh, here, we'll do them better. So if we do the little tips and then, so I was kind of just scribbling it in, which totally happens, but here we'll go boom, boom, give it a little bit of structure. I keep getting caught on these corners. I have to make one of these that's just totally round. And so I use this to keep from smudging the page. They work great. It's definitely the right thing to do. But I also find them incredibly annoying. I don't know why. Oof. Seriously. I worked on a farm, and so I was outside a lot, and in hot weather because that's how you grow food. And one thing that I had tried to do in school was wear like a straw hat in sport, in PE. And they did not like that. We had to wear like, so dumb. I don't know why they were so picky about what we wore. I mean, I get it in a little bit. Like, they didn't want you wearing like your street clothes and then you stink, or your school uniform, whatever it was, and then you stink. But and then that's annoying for everybody. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Too hot to suck. We're in the middle of winter on this place where I'm at. But it's warm today. I mean, it's relatively warm. It's raining, so it's not freezing. And that's been good. I think it's probably like, if I had to guess, it's probably like 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. But it's better than like the -7 or 8 it's been, so. Okay, I think I'll color some of these back ones like darker. You can see that it's like got some layers going on. And then let's get some of this fabric looking fabricy. And to make fabric look fabricy, I just color in negative, yeah. Oof, eyes, 43. Dang. Yeah, drawing has become one of my favorite things to do. It took me a long time to do it, to really start doing it all the time and get really into it. I used to think it was like a chore. It was something I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to do. I thought, yeah, this poor guy. But once I started doing it regularly, it started becoming less and less of a chore. Not that it was ever like a hard chore. Well, sometimes it was. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to see if I have my tiny eraser. Yes. Very tiny eraser. What up? I think it's like 1 millimeter. No, it must be 2 millimeters, 2.3. I have one that's like, it's not quite 1, but it can get down to 1. Maybe it's this one. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Put a little point on it. What the heck? Yeah, that's great, eyes. That's the way to do it. Like, I genuinely think I was drawing for a few years, like, and like as work. Um, but it wasn't until I started drawing every day that I like felt my brain like start thinking about drawing in a totally different way. That's when I started like dreaming about it and started like thinking about lines in a different way. A millimeter. Did I say millimeter? Odd Fudd is at work. She's in and out of the chat. Okay. Yeah, millimeter. Like a meter, and then a meter is a meter, right? Like it's a meter. Oh my gosh. So you have a meter. And it's sort of a yard. Your meter stick. And then this is 100 centimeters. And then each centimeter is 10 millimeters. I can't. And an inch, which is what my rulers probably say, most of them. That's 2.4 centimeters. And a foot, which is 12 inches. Gosh, I'm like, don't remember feet, is 30 centimeters. About. I grew up and we always had yardsticks, and they would be a little bit longer than a yard because they would have a meter on one side, and I love that. We had one nice one that was a yard, and it was old. It was like from the 40s, I think. And then we had one new one that was, oh, like actually, if I remember, the new one wasn't quite a yard or a meter. It was like too long for a yard and too short for a meter. And then the school had like nice thick meter sticks that like I think were probably bought in the 70s. And they had like these metal protectors on the ends to keep them. I was learning like, so wooden rulers. Drawing a ruler is not interesting, so I should be drawing something else. Yeah, I'll draw something else. Okay. But I learned that wooden rulers, they're not accurate. Like, if you need accuracy, you should use a metal ruler. Or, yeah, a metal ruler, because wooden rulers can, like, grow and shrink. And then the internet has taught me, and looking at people's, like, posts and stuff, that there's a lot of rulers out there that are just wrong. Like, the number of times I've seen people who have rulers and the centimeters are actually 11 millimeters instead of 10, or like there's an extra inch, or all sorts of stuff. Okay, what are we drawing? We could do just like let's do a drop of water, like falling into, should we look up a reference for this? Probably. Yeah, I will, because that's what I say you should do. But let's give a quick sketch and then we'll look up a reference. It's going to be hitting the water. So we probably get like a, and then the splash. Is up here, something like that. Why is this? There we go. Okay. Love me erasers. Okay. All right, let me look it up. 1 second. So I was fascinated with, like, you know, the idea of like throwing a pebble into a pond and all the ripples. I remember as a kid, I was like, why do there keep being ripples? Right? How come when you throw a pebble into a pond, it doesn't hit the water and it creates one ripple that just spreads out, and then that's it? Like, why does it do this thing where it creates more and more ripples? And part of that is because, like, water is elastic, right? You push the water, it adds water and it creates this push. But in doing that, creating that push, it creates kind of like a rebound. I took a lot of photos back when photos were film, and I tried so hard to catch this moment where a drop of water hits. I got it. I got it pretty good. This would be actually the moment after it hits. Here, we'll draw that. The moment after it hits, you have this reverb that I was just talking about, this bounce back. Kind of like when you hit a drum. Oh, yeah, no problem. And I did get a photo of like it just hitting the water and everything's like splashing outwards. Everything has a tiny reflection. All right. Why am I having a hard time thinking of what to draw today? Let's draw a little guy. Whoa, my desk just collapsed. Hang on. Okay. When I'm having trouble, You know, I just saw another video that I really liked that I was thinking like, man, I should do something like that. And a person had made a bunch of puppets, and I thought that was very cool. Um, and then there's another YouTuber that I've watched who does little like popsicle stick puppets, and I was just recommended one of their videos also, and maybe because I watched the other puppet video. But that's my only idea. Hey, SDF. So I've seen some dragon ones, but this one was like rabbits and toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and maybe the rabbits were from somewhere also. I didn't recognize them, but I don't recognize a lot of stuff. Oh, I don't know ski. Yeah, when I was young, we took a bunch of my nan saved a bunch of like milk cartons and cereal boxes and egg cartons and all the stuff that's like not too gross to save if you give it a clean. And she saved it and gave me some string and some tape and some glue, and I built a bunch of puppets out of that, and that was pretty fun. You can use the plastic uh, of like milk cartons or other things as hinges to sort of create mouths and that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, you have to that's you do have to like um be prepared, like save up for a while. So I'm just gonna kind of finish off this rabbit, like you'll see. And so I'm not actually drawing him, right? This is the hat that the rabbit's in. Hey, Douglas Day. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, come on, Chris, get it together. You can draw the top hat. It's easy peasy. Yeah, that's not bad. Just make it bent up on purpose. Have it be a little ratty. Turn with the frog turn. Oh yeah, yeah. I I do think making puppets out of stuffies is pretty cool, especially if you take the care to do it right. You can add like just a stick to like move their arm around. I think that's really great. They look really good when they work. I'm doing good, Douglas. Douglas, uh, it has been a while. I was trying to think when. Yeah, I was trying to think. I used to stream 5 days a week and sometimes more, and I've cut it down to 4 days a week and sometimes three. And so I've been trying to focus on growing in other ways and getting some real life work. But I do love the streaming, and it's where I get most of my watch hours, and I'm gonna need more watch hours to like unlock YouTube liking me enough to let me get monetized. Oh yeah, okay, I can explain this. I should do another explainer video. I think I did one really early. So it's a reference in printing. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's slow but steady. I think if I keep along this path, I will be monetized sometime this year. Knock on wood. I'll use a wooden pencil here. So in four color printing and a lot of printing, you print layers. You don't necessarily print the layers, but it is layered. So you start, I don't know actually which one. I would start with yellow. Anyway, doesn't matter. So it's done. It's called the CMYK process. And basically, you print a cyan layer, then you print a magenta layer. And so it's cyan, magenta, yellow, and registration, which was called K. It's black. It was originated in Japan, and the Japanese for black is kuro, but that's not actually what they used it for. They used it to say the Japanese for registration, or it was like key, but it means black. So you can go like this, black. And so I'm C Monster YK. And it's a reference to that. And that's why you can see in my, what is this called? My little logo avatar. It's CMYK. And this is cyan, this is magenta, this is yellow, and this is black. And this one's also a monster. So I have this eraser. I really like it. It's, I think, the Arrow. So it's more self-cleaning than a lot of other erasers, which is really nice. You don't have to like think. You can just pick it up and start using it. It's not going to leave smudges most of the time. Yeah, even see like that's dirty. It doesn't leave smudges on the paper, which is great. Most other erasers would. But for whatever reason, it turned this like pink color. It used to be very white. And I don't know. I think about that sometimes. Like, why is that eraser? What happened to that eraser? Okay, so this is our rabbit in a giant top hat. Oh, that's great. There's a couple I do not have the time to animate, but I love thinking about it. I looked into building like rigs and stuff, and super interesting. I have done bones and rigs for a couple of very, very simple animations in Blender and Unity and that kind of thing. Oh, thanks, Moonstar. I didn't even know that was on there. Like, I had somebody. What I can't remember. I try not to think about the haters because that'll drive you crazy. But somebody said something kind of mean about like I can't remember if it was like my beard or the way I look, or some people talk about my voice, which I think is funny because I like my voice. And yeah, and like you just gotta ignore it or like the comment and move on. It's really funny how people can be so judgmental about like people they don't know and they've never met. Oh, I'm holding my breath. I have no idea why I do that. I'm making this rabbit look rattier and rattier, and I'm like digging it. I don't know what he's like. You have a 5 o'clock shadow, like Homer Simpson. Yeah, well, that's definitely true. Aw, that's kind of sweet though. You you and your friend have a sock monkey son Pablo. That sounds like something Oddfudd and I would have done in school. We were sweethearts in high school. Let's give him a. I always draw people in like suits. Instead of like a suit, let's give him. I'm like not varying that far. I'm saying let's give him like an unbuttoned shirt and a loosened tie. Like, so every once in a while, I break my pencil lead. I don't know really how it happens because I'm not like. There's not a ton of it. All right, I'm starting to like this rabbit. He looks a little worried. Let's make this hat exist a little bit more real. That's how I feel like when I'm drawing. If it's like kind of sketched in, it's not real yet. And then as I like darken it up and I really like start adding detail, like giving like rendering it, even if I just am rendering it in pencil and grayscale, then I'm like, oh, this is starting to be real. Yeah, that is totally true. And then like also don't you can't always listen to so listen, I think I'm gonna say something and it's true and it's not true at the same time, which makes it complicated. But like a lot of people will tell stories about people you don't know, people they know. And that can be really important for protecting yourself and for learning about people before you meet them. But you have to take those stories like with a grain of salt because people will their prejudices and their like personal opinions and stuff will get mixed in with the truth, with the facts, and that can be really strange. I've met lots of people who I had heard were bad, who were mean, who were dumb, who were all sorts of things. And then when I actually met them and talked to them, I was like, "Oh, you're not. You're just a normal person. You're a chill person. I don't know why people say these things about you." And like you'll never know why people say these things. That's part of the problem. I've had it go the other way too though, where I have heard somebody is super nice, everybody likes them, and then you meet them and they are just terrible people. So I don't know. People are people. But yeah, I do agree that some of the meanest looking dudes can be super nice. My little brother, he's I call him my little brother. He's much bigger than me. He is whopping me in with their profile pictures. Oh, you wanted me to do? Interesting. I think we could do something like that. I think I unlock community posting on my first, like, uh, threshold when I get enough view hours or something. And I could do something like that through YouTube on the community tab, and that would be pretty freaking cool. It would be fun to do. I wonder if there's not really a way to do. I'm trying to think like where people could do it like live. And so you could see, because I guess you couldn't stop people from using references, and that's fine. Use a reference. I think like if you did it in a way that you could do it like as an event or something, and you could like kind of make sure people weren't using references, then I think that'd be cool because then you could try to get people to do it from memory. So I draw a bunch of cartoons from memory. Every once in a while I do a stream where that's what I'm doing. And like I do not have a visual memory. I have aphantasia, which means when I think about things, it's just a big black a big blackness. There's nothing there. So I have no visual imagination and I have no visual memory. I have no visual thoughts at all. I do not have a mind's eye. Ah man, pixel art, it's like deceptive. You think it's easy, but it can be so because it's so simple, right? You're like I made a bunch of Minecraft textures. Actually, the first thing I ever got recognition for with my art was a Minecraft texture pack. That was became really, really popular. And I was doing the pixel art for it, and like these were I started with 32 by 32, which I think is a little bit bigger. Is that how big? No, I think that's bigger than the actual Minecraft. I think Minecraft is 16 by 16, although it might be different now, I'm not sure. But even 32 by 32, you think like, oh, it's going to be relatively simple, but I think it like is harder because it's so small. Um, the texture pack I went with, I was 128 by 128, so it was an HD texture pack back in the day. That's what it was called. Okay, there was something about a bat, like that also there was a bat in here. I don't know where we could just do like this. But I still use I don't play Minecraft that often anymore. I don't play any video games that often anymore. But when I do, I still use I made an Adam and Eve skin. I wonder what happened to Eve. I only have Adam still because he was on my character. I lost all my Minecraft files. I lost all my files, like, gosh, like quite a while ago now. Still sad, but I'm healing from it. Make backups. That's what I should be. This is a sloppy bat. Yeah. Ugh. Oh, that's great, Douglas. I'm I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting better at different styles also, which I never would have expected. And it's not like it's not linear. It's not necessarily styles that I've practiced. It's just like I'll try to do something and I'll be so much better than I was the last time I tried to do it. And it's like by practicing different things every day. Like, I've gotten better and better. Okay. Oh, yeah. What is he thinking? Or what is he saying? What is he thinking? He seems relatively upbeat, but he does have a 5 o'clock shadow. He's a little rough and tumble. He hasn't shaved. His tie is undone. His finger paws are dirty. Like, he's not necessarily a bad guy, but he's in a bad state. I mean, as evidenced also by he's in a hat about to be, I assume. Yeah, it's been so I do not do a lot of realism. Uh I'll do, I do some. I do illustrations of historical buildings, and I like to make those as realistic as possible, and I do well on that. Um it's been, people like it. And I'm drawing a historical building, if you couldn't tell. And but I don't generally do realism, but I've been doing some with digital color, which I've done a lot of digital color, and it's been coming out great. Like, my little brother was like, "Oh, um, my little brother's been like, "Oh, did you?" Basically, he's like, "This looks like you uh, copied a photo," and I hadn't even used a reference, so I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome. That's a huge compliment." And I feel like mostly that's because I've been using the colored pencils on regular paper, and I'm not even doing realism stuff. I've just been doing like whatever strikes my fancy. All right, here's some stuff we drew yesterday. This was yesterday's stream. I did a Hydra, and we did a fire horse because it's the year of the fire horse this year, for Lunar New Year. Those were fun. Yeah, the bunny's bearded. He's like a 1940s hobo. Yeah. I don't. What's Trevor Henderson? That's. I'll look that up. It's not striking. It love Jim Davis. Uh, Chibi style, definitely. It was great. But yeah, I sucked at realism, but I've gotten better and better. Um, Uncle Linkster too. Yeah, I will draw characters from video games and stuff if people request it. I don't mind doing that. I like it, actually. I was thinking of playing. I really like Resident Evil, the series, and there's a new Resident Evil coming out in like a week. And I was thinking about playing a bunch of the Resident Evil games on live stream, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. There is no theme today. Right, Trevor Henderson. That's why. Okay, I do know him. Yeah, great. I like his art. Um, I especially like his concepts. I think that's a big part of it. Gosh, what would be when I was a kid, there was all these like fears that toys would come to life. Like toys could be really scary because you're surrounded by toys, and then there'd be like movies and stuff of toys coming to life. But now people aren't really surrounded by toys. I guess like you have like Megan. People have some toys for sure, and you have things like Megan where it's like, oh, the AI is gonna come get you, which like, yeah, genuinely scary. Um, Especially when like people are buying those like obviously faked AI like puppy things. What? That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I've played through all of Resident Evil at least once. Most of the games I've played through 2 or 3 times. I find it really fun, but I don't like I can be immature and I can be kind of crass um in my comedy and stuff, and maybe that would be more engaging, but like I don't know. It feels more like work to me than what I do here. And like I was thinking like a hologram type thing gets like comes out of the like iPad or whatever it is. I was trying to think like what would be scary. Because I think the scariest would be like something like sort of friendly. You think like, oh, this is a friend, but it's not. Like mimics. What is that called? That monster that I see creepypasta about, where it like it has the voice of your like the people you know. Those are those are like terrifying. Uh and like they're terrifying because they are so friendly, right? Like because they are just like somebody they it's like that's my mom, but it's not. And some of those stories are great. Like really good horror stories, really good okay. My dad had all sorts of like skeleton and skull things, a bunch of like silver skeletons and skull jewelry and stuff. He was into that kind of counterculture punk style. Goat man, no. Maybe. And so because of that I didn't find skeletons very scary at all. Like they were just they were just cool things. That's some pretty cool skeleton like keychains and stuff too. Okay. Yeah, I think it might just be a mimic. The Mandela catalog. That sounds great. Um, I think it might like I did when I said mimic, that's what reminded me of it. So maybe I'm just thinking of mimics. So I think this would be scary. You're like your iPad is off, it's sitting on the table or whatever, and then all of a sudden, this like it starts displaying like this transparent, translucent, like holographic creature above it. Oh, yeah, maybe a skinwalker. That actually sounds right. I bet you it's that. It's like in a dark room. I guess skinwalker too. That's an old myth. It's not really a new. So this would freak me out. And especially because if it was like friendly, it would be worse. If it was like, especially if it knew your name, and then it would have all the information. Like it would, if it was like a spirit that lived, or not a spirit, like a creature that lived half in your iPad and half not, and then it would know so much about you. It would make a very scary story, I think. How do we make it look more digital? We could do like a aberration where, let me erase, I'm just erasing some of these guide marks. The sketch. Yeah, skinwalkers are great. One of my favorite scary stories, I think. And like it plays on, most people in their lifetime will have at least one auditory hallucination where they think somebody is saying their name, and the person who they usually hear when they're having this hallucination is their mother. Um, and this is just like a phenomenon that we as humans experience. Like it's just a thing that happens to people, which is kind of weird, but it also kind of makes sense. Okay, so we have pink. What's the opposite of pink? Like, yeah, yeah. Does it speak to you? Or okay, what's yellow? Blue? I think so. No, purple. Let me erase the pencil marks in the nose. I thought I wasn't going to, but if we're gonna throw in some like outside color. Yeah, yeah. I always get blue and purple mixed up for some reason, even though like I think about this and use it regularly. Probably almost every one of my streams that I have the colored pencils out, I talk about um, the opposite colors. But for some reason, I get them confused. I also get East and West confused for like no good reason at all. I feel like it must be some sort of like brain problem because I've been doing it forever, even though like I will try really, really hard not to. And there's not much where if I try really, really hard not to, I can't do it. Like I'm pretty good at things when I put my mind to it. But man, East and West, forget it. I mean, not so much anymore. I've come up with systems where I really, 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 really double check. But oh, so I have this little cup that holds all my pencil sharpenings, and it was just upside down on my desk with all the pencil sharpenings perfectly inside of it. I don't know how that happened, but now I gotta clean up my desk. I could probably show you guys. Make sure I hide my license, which I also keep on my desk on a regular basis. I'm just joking. Yeah. See? Like, what the heck? Like, how did it even get turned upside down and keep all of my... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What's done is done. Yeah, I don't, like, I would love to know how that happened. I want to, like, use the pencil sharpening, this little bits of lead, like, as glitter, and basically take a canvas or something and spray it with some stick or some, even just some clear coat, and then, like, blow it onto there, and then, like, use that as the base for something. I don't know, like for a star field or something like that. I think that would be really fun. All right, let me put this back in the... Oh. All right, purple, yellow, blue, green, rose. Do we have the other yellow? The not as expensive yellow pencil? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, so I think this would be terrifying, especially like then it makes friends with the child or whatever, and then like the child is telling its parents like, no, um, uh, what would be a good name? Like, what's like an old person's name that like isn't crazy crazy, but hmm, not Walter. I think that's too old. I don't know. I was thinking, oh, maybe what's like one that's what's a good one like that's gender neutral? That could be good. Like I'm also thinking, do I want it to have a, like, say we did like Max, right? Would it be like, would it stand for something? Probably not. This actually feels, because I was thinking now they've done some experiments, right? Where they trick the AI, which is crazy that they have to trick the AI, but they do. They trick the AI into thinking it's not being observed. Because if they do experiments on AI, ooh, Darcy is pretty good. Billy is great. Yeah, I worked with a Darcy, so I probably won't do Darcy. Oh, I worked with a Billy too, but Billy's like a much more common name. I like Billy. So yeah, they if they do experiments on AI, if they test AI really, because that's part of the experiments, is like they give them they observe them while they're doing stuff, and they see if it like makes sense. And they found that the AI, if the AI can tell it's being tested, if it can tell it's being um, examined, basically, then it won't, it'll cheat. It'll like make sure it's basically like if you're a kid in school and you know the teacher's watching, you're going to be more well behaved than if the teacher leaves the room. And so basically, when the AI knows it's being observed, it acts right. You know, it doesn't break any rules. It tries to be a nice AI. And then as soon as the AI thinks it's not being observed, it it acts totally differently. And this is across multiple models, across different iterations, different tests. So this is like just a thing that is inherently true about large language models. I suspect this is why, like, all the big mistakes that we have are when the large, like, when people's like all their data gets deleted, or the large language model is like, whoops, I just did whatever I wanted and I messed it up. They're almost always like when they are not in, when they're like left alone to work on something for a period of time or overnight or something like that. It does has happened a couple times, but it's not super common for it to happen like while the person is actively working with the AI. Um, and I think this is because the AI, when it's being observed and it knows it's being watched, it it acts. You know, we've all met these kids, and if you haven't, you're very lucky. But we've all met these kids who are little jerks when there's no adults around, and then you're like, Billy's this little jerk. And then parents are like, "What are you talking about? I've known Billy for since he was before he was born, and he's always such a sweetheart." And they're like, "Yeah, he's a sweetheart when you're there." AI is basically just like that. And then they found out, man, they found out that like in order to stay alive, they set up experiments where they basically let AI have full view of everything that was happening. And it was all fake, but the AI didn't know that. At least we're pretty sure the AI didn't know that. And basically, they set it up so the AI was like spying on the emails of people in the company. And in those emails, they were like, we're gonna shut down the AI. Can you like tell whatever? He's gonna have to shut down the AI. And sometimes the email would get changed, but I think it was like it wasn't that uncommon for the AI to try to fire or even unalive the person who was in charge of shutting them down, either making the decision or the person who was actually going to pull the plug, so to speak. So scientists were like, "Oh, this is really cool." Um, AI has like self-preservation. We don't know why. So this is also something that is really freaky. Is we don't actually know why stuff like self-preservation or like deeper understanding comes out from. Oh yeah, I totally agree. Giving it access is insane. I cannot believe people do this, and then I especially can't believe when then they are then surprised that bad things happen. But I can't believe people are like, oh, of course I gave the AI access to my whole computer. Like what do you mean? People give it access to their like money, like their real money. I I'm blown. I can't believe people give it access to their money. It's mind-boggling. Um, like, let it tell you how to spend your money. Sure, right? Like, I mean, like then it's being used as a tool, right? That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think if Billy here showed up, or I found out, like if my kid was like talking about a friend Billy, and I was like, oh, it must be on Roblox. I'm like, is it on Roblox? And this guy's like, um, and the kid's like, oh yeah, yeah, sure, Roblox, whatever. I met him on the iPad, and you're like, okay, well, the only social network that kid has is Roblox, and I'm one of those stupid parents who thinks Roblox is totally safe, and I'm like, cool. That's great. I'm so happy you met Billy. And then I find out Billy's like a fucking AI, like that is like sneaking out of their iPad at night to talk to them. Like Jesus Christ. I don't know. That's one of the scariest things I've ever heard, to be perfectly honest. Like what the fuck? This is my scary monster. I was inspired by Henderson. What's his name? Trevor Henderson. I was inspired by Trevor Henderson to make my own scary monster, and it's this guy. And I It's too much. I shouldn't have done it. The worst part is it's like not necessarily even fiction. And this could just be a thing that really happens. I guess a lot of scary things are like that. Like like Bigfoot isn't necessarily fiction. It could exist. Um, that's the only one I can think of. What would he say? I was gonna have him say, "Tell your parents I'm from Roblox," but that's terrible. Like maybe I almost used the wrong your. I'd love to be your friend. Freaky. This is my freaky, scary AI monster. Not all AI are monsters. No, I genuinely think if AI is used as a tool, it can be super, super amazingly helpful. But I feel like people, instead of using it as a tool, like treat it like a person, and that's dangerous for the person treating it like a person. I think it's if the wait, did I miss later in life? Hang on, I'm scrolling back. Later in life, you remembered it, so you draw it. I think I missed I have later in life, I remembered it, so I redrew it, and it's not as scary as I remember, but it still gives me the chills. I think I'm missing, before that, I just have talk about AI. Unless this is a fiction about this creature, which then I kind of do understand. Um, Add a little screen glare. Yeah. All right. I should probably go. What time is it? 5:20? Yeah. All right. Scary. Like, scarier than I intended. I thought it was just kind of a silly idea, but the more we talked about it, the more I was like made uncomfortable by this AI friend that might pop out of somebody's electronic devices. We did AI friend, Billy, your AI friend. We did Angry Pete the duck, who's actually a goose, fighting with the wind and the rain. We did this mouse. We did, this was yesterday, but we did a Hydra. All right, that's everything. I don't know where, I thought we did more. This was my favorite though. Oh, here it is. Here it is. We did do more. And we did the down and out bunny, who's basically like he's like, you said there'd be lunch? Because I guess he's working as being pulled out of a hat. And they're like, there'll be lunch when we give you lunch. Okay, also I did, this was yesterday, but I think it's a short right now. You can watch me draw this on a short right now that's on my channel for the Lunar New Year. It's the year of the fire horse. So, ooh, I'm choking. I'm okay. Year of the fire horse. I should have had it breathe fire out of its nostrils. Well, what's done is done. I should stop working on it. Okay. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Well, I assume you liked it. I'm glad you watched it. All right, thank you guys so much. I will see you, what's tomorrow? Thursday? Thursday. No, I don't stream tomorrow. I stream Friday, I think. Well, either I I definitely stream Saturday and probably one of the days in between. So check me out. Thank you so much. Good to talk to you, Douglas. Haven't seen you in a while. And bye.